As you can see in these tabs, we have these little icons to the left of the titles. These are called favicons, and they give a bit of branding to any tabs that are open from your site. So as a final touch, let's create a favicon for our site. As you've probably noticed, favicons are square, although they can be adjusted slightly by making some of that square invisible, like you see here with the Mozilla favicon. For our site, we have a really nice logo that will fit within the context of a square perfectly. So let's start by creating a transparent version of this graphical portion of the logo. I'm going to jump to Photoshop, where we have our mockup, and I'm going to hold down Command-Alt and then right-click on this image in order to select its layer in Photoshop. Now I'm going to right-click the layer and select Duplicate Layer in order to move it to a new file where we can play with it a little bit. I'll select New as the document and click OK. And if we zoom in a little bit, we can see our icon right here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger, and then I'll copy it, and I'll paste it into a new document to make sure that the borders are tight around it. I'll ensure that it's got a transparent background, and I'll save this for the web. I'll click Save, and I'll save it as favicon.png, although you can name it whatever at this point. Now, of course, if you don't have Photoshop, you can grab the PNG file that we created here in step 46, favicon.png, adding a favicon. And now there are a number of tools that we can use in order to use this as a favicon or convert it to a favicon.ico file, which is what browsers look for by default in order to display a favicon for your site. But what I'm going to do is do a quick search on Google for favicon generator, because there's some good ones out there. And I'm going to go to favicongenerator.org. I'm going to choose our file. I'll select favicon, and I'm going to select the generate only 16 by 16 favicon.ico. And I'm going to uncheck include favicon.ico in the public gallery. And I'll click create favicon. And then I'll click download the generated favicon. And it says to add this to our HTML page in our header. So I'm going to copy this, and I'll go to our editor. I'll go to our index.html page. And I'll bump up to our header here, and I'll paste in these 2 lines and save it. And then I'm going to go grab our icon file right here. I'll copy it, and I'll paste it into the base directory of our site. Now if we go back to the browser, and what I'm going to do is actually close out Chrome in order to clear out the favicon cache, and then I'll open it back up again. And you may need to play a little bit with refreshing the browser, but when you're done, you should see your favicon up here. Now, if you're on a high resolution device, it may look a bit fuzzy. So one of the first things that you can do on your step to developing front-end skills outside of this series is figuring out how to make this look nice and crisp on even high resolution devices. Now, I know there's a ton more to learn, and I know you're going to do an amazing job learning it and executing it in the real world. What you've learned here, though, will serve you surprisingly well when it comes to real-world projects and landing jobs in digital agencies. I hope you have a lot of fun with whatever your next steps are, and we'll see you at the next video series.